Hey, what's up, everyone? So in this video, I thought I would show off and talk about some of my projects I did in high school that I was able to take home with me. I'm only gonna show off 12 of my projects: 5 carpentry projects, 5 welding projects, 1 robotics project, and 1 auto body project. Now, a lot of these projects do have instructions, which I've also saved and kept, and I'll be showing them off as well. Now, apologies in advance if I struggle with my talking. I'm not really all that good at talking in front of a camera or any other recording device for long periods of time. So, so I have my script printed out of what I'm gonna say, but just so you know, I can still easily get nervous, so just bear with me. So I'm gonna start off with my carpentry project first, and I'll start with my wooden mallet. This is my personal wooden mallet I made. I did the handle and the head separately. I can't really remember which one I did first, but as soon as they were both finished, I took the handle, shaved down one end to a smaller diameter. Then I took the head, drilled a 1-inch hole in diameter on one side as the same diameter. Then I filled it with wood glue and pushed the handle into the hole as far as I can and waited for the glue to dry. When I was finished, my final total score I got out of 50 was 43. So yeah, those are the instructions for it. Yeah. Now we did have to do bookwork in between projects, so yeah. Next is my sliding top box, and what this is a box with a sliding top that can slide in and out, and you can store small stuff inside. Yeah. I also got 43 out of 50 for this project. And here are the measurements and instructions. Yeah. Next on my list is my stool project. Yeah. I gotta say, it's probably gotta be my biggest size project I did in this list at school, since it's roughly 12 inches by 12 inches by 25 inches. In fact, when I finished this, and on the day I decided to take this home with me, I asked one of my parents to pick me up, simply because I otherwise just find it awkward to just walk home and take the bus while holding this in my hands, which they were kind enough to pick me up. Now, and it is strong enough to sit on, though I did make a few mistakes, including one pretty major error while cutting out my pieces and gluing and screwing them together. But I was told that my construction teacher, who was also my math 20-3 teacher, still thought I did a great job on it, and based on my 39 out of 50 score I got from him, I would say I agree. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, those are the measurements. And those are the assembly instructions. Now this is my cutting board project. I don't really have much to say about this other than the fact that I've accidentally cut 2 of my fingers while making this. Well, 1 on each hand. Well, while I was trying to do this, which caused them to bleed, but still, it wasn't really anything too serious, though. My score was 38 out of 50 for this one. Now this is something really cool. This is my wooden tic-tac-toe game project. It's similar to my sliding top box project, but inside is a tic-tac-toe game and game pieces I made with wood. Which these are the X's and these are the O's. I did make a couple of errors on this project, but I still got a 39 out of 50 for trying my best. I say this makes a good camping game. Yeah, those are the instructions. Yes. Okay. Now I'm gonna show off my welding projects. This is my first one I did, which is a nameplate. This is what it looks like. I recorded a video of myself doing this not too long ago. What I did was I first wrote my name onto a flat mild piece of steel with chalk. Then using a MIG welding machine, I carefully retraced my letters. It may not be perfect, but I took my time and it's the best I could do. Plus my welding teacher let me practice with the welding machines on random pieces of steel before doing this. This was my next project, which is a piggy bank. What I did is I took one of the paper templates my welding teacher had, traced them onto flat, thick steel pieces with chalk, and cut them out. I had magnets holding everything in place as I tack weld everything together. Before welding everything permanently together then welding everything permanently together using stick welding. Now I personally find stick welding harder than MIG welding. I have gotten my welding stick stuck in place a lot of times while welding stuff together, which I had to aggressively shake it back and forth in order to break it free, which is mainly why my welds here look kind of horrible. But anyways, when all the gaps were filled, I MIG welded some details onto my piggy bank, such as 2 rectangles I cut out on steel for feet, a metal tail that I twisted around a small pipe, and 2 split washers for eyes, one on each side, and then sprayed with a clear coat for a finish. I also drilled out two holes, like one on the top and one on the bottom for like coins to get in and out. And at home, I was able to find something to cover up the bottom hole pretty snug, which while still allowing me to take it out whenever I need to. Yeah. I remember my welding teacher telling me not to drop this on the day I took this home, since this is pretty heavy, even though there ain't any coins inside. I was told to be careful not to drop it. Yeah, because I have a gut feeling if I did drop this, not only it could break my bones of my toe and feet, but I have a gut feeling it could also damage my piggy bank, and it could also damage the floor. I guess it all depends on the fall and what the floor is made of. Yeah. Yeah. Next is my Oac Lettering Project, which is this right here. As you can see, I've decided to use my first name for this project. I've also recorded myself doing part of this project, which I'll get to that in a moment. I did the first half of this project off camera, which was typing out my name in a Word document on a computer in big lettering text, printed them off, carefully cut my letters out, including the centers for some of them, traced them onto some mild thick pieces of steel, cut them out again, and cleaned them up the best I can. The next step was to get another length piece of thick steel to weld my letters onto, which I had to choose if I either want to have my letters stand up or have them lie down flat on their backs, which I did do some thinking and experimenting to both, and I decided to make my letters stand up in a sort of zigzag effect. Not sure if you could see that well or not, but that's that. I record 4 videos of myself doing the second half of this project, which I later edited all into one video. I use magnets to hold my letters in place as I MIG welded the back of my letters onto my length piece of steel, which is roughly 50.5 centimeters long. Then I grinded it, heat treated it, and do some last minute touches to it. I say this makes a really good display on a shelf or something. Next is my dice project. Next is my dice project. What I did was cut out 6 square pieces of steel, roughly the same size in diameter. Then I took two of the squares and used some magnets, tack welded the pieces together, which I did same thing to all my other squares. Now I did have some difficulties with this project. The pieces kept on moving out of place, even though I had magnets holding everything together while I was trying to tack weld them together. At one point, I got so frustrated by this, I violently threw my pieces onto the ground and broke off the tack welds with my feet and hands out of anger and just stopped working on it for that day. Eventually, the following day, I did ask my welding teacher for help, and eventually I was able to permanently weld all 6 sides together. I then drilled out the holes and heat treated it to finish up my dice. Yeah. Next, this here is my personal welding project, which is my own version of a tractor based off of a picture I found on the internet. Yeah, like that right there. Yeah. Now I know it may be small and a bit messy, but I was in a bit of a hurry to try and come up with a personal project idea and get it done since there was like around 10 school days left of the school year by the time I got started on this. But it's still a personal project of mine, if nothing else. Moving on, this here is my only robotics project. I can't really remember what it's supposed to be, but it's a project that involved 3D designing, 3D printing, and wiring / soldering multiple electrical components to a small circuit board. like that. Yeah. My welding teacher had built his own creation of this robot and basically wanted the class to make their own copies and versions of it. Now this was my first time ever 3D printing and soldering stuff together, and because of that, I've had a lot of trouble, and I made a lot of errors and mistakes throughout this entire project, especially with this circuit building and soldering part. Even though I was trying my hardest, yeah, yeah, but the idea, but I was able to get it all complete, and the idea is that you flick the switch and both these motors spin and it does something like that, but apparently one of the motors here has a bit of resistance due to a clunk in it, so I think that might be the cause of it not spinning at all, but this one works. But still, I say I've learned at least 2 new things, and again I did manage to complete my robotics project the best I can, which I was happy about. And finally, this is my Autobuy project. It's called a B-pillar project. Me and at least 4 of my classmates who are also doing this project were each given 3 different size flat metal sheets. One 16-inch by 9-inch metal sheet, one 16-inch by 4-inch metal sheet, one various size metal sheet which comes later in the project, and a booklet of printed instructions. Yeah, sorry if you can't see that very well, but yeah, this project involved measuring, marking, bending, drilling, cutting, MIG welding, filing, taping, body filler, sanding, and painting. Now to make long story shorter, my classmates and I were able to complete the measuring, belt, bending, drilling, cutting, MIG welding, air sanding, taping, body filler steps the best we can, with trial and error, helping each other throughout the building process. But apparently none of us were able to complete the sandpaper step or start on the painting step since it was reaching the end of the school year at that point. Plus, all of us were spending more class time cleaning cars and doing other things in the Autobuy shop than working on our B pillars. So our teacher told us we could just take our B pillar projects home with us. Now in one of my recent videos, I did do a couple small things to my B pillar at home. I chiseled off the excess messy body filler I got on the bottom the best I can using a chisel, which I first tried sanding it off with 150 grit sandpaper. And I used some small cutters to try and cut off some of the sharp edges on both sides. Yeah. And say, check this out. At least at the time of me recording this video, I can even put my hand and lower arm through the square hole, allowing me to wear it over my arm. I personally found this pretty cool, and I did show this to my classmates, though I have cut myself a few times from doing that multiple times. I've also cut myself and also made multiple errors while building my B pillar in school, and that was also my first time using body filler of any kind. Anyways, so yeah, those were 12 of my projects I did in 4 out of the 6 option classes I took in my 4 years of high school. I have to say, I did have fun with these projects, and I say I learned a lot. However, I did find some of them more challenging and advanced than others, even though I was trying my best to follow the instructions. which they all have pictures, words, and numbers on them. Plus, the COVID-19/coronavirus situation was still going on around me while I was doing a lot of my projects and other schoolwork. So I don't think that really helped things either. I do have a list of multiple difficulties, which I've already mentioned a couple of them. Not only that, but I throughout my 13 years of school, I have gotten busted in school like at least more than 20 to 30 times, and my name was used a lot by other people I've met in school. I often do feel like an idiot whenever I make mistakes in general, but hey, making mistakes is just part of learning. Yeah, I I I still have some personal life things of mine I need to work on, and despite all this, I stayed with it. I tried my hardest. I took my time, and I was still happy to have been able to take in my projects and instructions home with me in the end, and they do hold memories. Yeah, some of them are like way cool. Some of them might seem boring, but hey, these are at least 3 new things that I learned in school that I haven't done before: soldering, wires/circuit boards, 3D printing, and using body filler. but yeah, that's pretty much it.